This is not an ad. These are literally things that I keep going back to all year long, especially in the year 2022 when we have so many beauty products thrown our way. The first one up is sunscreen, because we all know we have to protect our skin. You know by now that is the #1 way to prevent signs of premature aging, such as dark spots, hyperpigmentation, deeper wrinkles. So let's dive in. The first one I want to mention is actually a recommendation that I got from watching a dermatologist that you're very familiar with probably online, Pillow Talk Derm. Dr. Idris recommended in one of her videos to try this sunscreen by Joseon. So I did try it. It's SPF 50 and it says relief sun, rice, and probiotics on it. So if you are looking for something that is non-greasy, that doesn't have hyaluronic acid in it, although I have nothing against hyaluronic acid, but there seems to be a trend going on these days of people like wanting something different. So put all of that aside, it really does seem to be a great choice for SPF, and I'm actually going to show you what it looks like on the skin just so you can get a better idea. It's really creamy when it comes out. It's almost like a really light lotiony, in between a lotion and a serum texture. But what I like about it is that it glides on really easy. When it's done, it's the difference. It leaves your skin feeling really soft and silky, but it absorbs really quickly. So because of that, it doesn't tend to interfere with any other products that you're putting on your skin. It doesn't give you any weird texture. It just all around, I feel like, is a really great option. And it's pretty inexpensive. I can't remember. I feel like this is around 20 bucks. And so the next one I want to mention is one that, I've been using for maybe more than a year now, and it's by Nivea. It's called Super Water Gel 50. And the reason I like this sunscreen is because it dries so fast. And I mean, you barely, after you put it on, it almost has more of a lotiony, serumy. I know I just said that about this other one, but this one's more serumy. It's more serumy when it comes out, but it still has that tint that almost reminds you of like a lotion. And what I love about it is that literally when it dries, when I say it doesn't feel like you're wearing anything on your skin, I really mean it. And I really think this is a great option too if you're acne prone, or if you have issues with your skin feeling too oily, or if it's during the summertime, or if you live in a really humid environment. I love the good sunscreen and I do wear it regularly year round, but it is very luxurious. It's very silky. It's very, let me show you what it looks like. You can tell I've used a lot of it here because none of it's coming out on my cat. It's so embarrassing. So you can tell I use it, so I'm not lying. Let me put it here on my wrist. It is really, really silky feeling whenever you put it on. And it's also very hydrating. So sometimes in the winter months, or not winter months, excuse me, sometimes in the summer months, because in the winter months, I'm definitely going to gravitate to this. That is for sure. Or if you have like really, really dry or crepey skin, this is definitely sunscreen for you. This is better for, I would say, if you have skin issues, if you want to avoid, again, hyaluronic acid, or if you're just wanting something that's kind of, what is the phrase? Non-offensive. That would be a good one, because there's so many different types of sunscreens out there. I just think this is a beautiful non-offensive sunscreen. This is a little bit even more affordable than that one. This is probably around $12 or $13, and I found it on Amazon as well. It's the SPF 50. Again, you put it on, it doesn't feel like you have anything on your skin whatsoever. But if you're wanting something for dry, crepey skin more in the winter months, or if you are in a drier climate, this is really, really ideal. So just a few different options for you to contemplate. And again, I just cannot stop going back to these, so I wanted to share that with you today. Let's move on to makeup before I move on and share with you some beauty items that I literally keep by my bedstand. I am not joking. I grabbed them all today because I thought, you know what? I can't live without these things. There's a good chance that you're in need of some things like this too. So let's chat beauty, all things beauty. So today let's talk about makeup for a second. And you know, if you're like me, if you're over 40, literally it's all about easy. It's all about easy, quick, in and out the door in a very short period of time. So for me, this year particularly, it has really included eyeshadow sticks because they are just so freaking easy. But this is the thing. If you put the wrong type of makeup on top of your eye, or if you're not wearing eyeshadow primer, things can get really messy up here. And if you're like me also, you don't have time to worry about having a mess on your eyes, or you don't want to walk out the door, get in your car an hour later and see those black rings up here. Okay, so there's a few things that you can do to avoid that. Let's state the obvious. You got to wear eye primer up here. That is a sure thing. But what I like about this particular eyeshadow stick, this one's by Mally, is that it includes eye primer inside of it. So let me just put it, I already have it on, but I'm going to put it on my eyes so you can kind of see how it comes out. Very natural. It has almost like a little tacky consistency, but that's because it does have a primer in it. Now, I chose this one because I didn't want a lot of eye color. She does have a lot of other eye shades that I haven't tried, but I deliberately choose this one because I want something that's very natural, because most days I don't have time to think about the type of makeup, creative makeup design I want to do. I'm just literally, I need to get in and out the door fast. So another way that I love to soften up a matte look like this, regardless of what color, is to add a little bit of shimmer over it. But you want to be careful after 40, because you definitely don't want to bring that shimmer into that fold, especially if you have hooded eyes. So what I love to do just to soften things up is I love to come in over a matte color and just put a little bit of that shimmer right on the eyelid, just like that. Boom, we're done. This one actually is by Julep, and just to let you know, look, I can't roll it up anymore. That's how much I've used it this year. And so I literally just ordered another one. All of these you can find online at Amazon. And some, I would say most of these, because these are kind of like rare picks today, you probably would have to find it on Amazon, or I don't know if you could find it in a Sephora or not, but this next one you can definitely find in Sephora, so I should mention it really quickly. This is my favorite eye primer for the under eyes. If you have issues with your eye makeup being very messy, there's probably a million different ones that would work lovely, but this one I've just used for a really long time. The last couple of years I've used it more than ever, because now I'm in my late 40s and things are just moving around. Now, one thing I will say is I don't like to use setting sprays like this all over my face. I like to, because setting sprays are a little sticky, so I like to spray a little bit of it on my clean hand, and then I take it like this and I just pat it over my eye makeup that I don't want to move, just like this. Literally, that's all I do. I just pat it over my eye makeup and it literally stays in place all day long. Sometimes I'll come down, it gets a little red around your nose right here, or maybe there's like areas of your skin where you feel like the makeup just gets a little oily. This is just a great option instead of spraying it all over your face if you don't like the feeling of that. So eye primer up here, gotta have it over 40, and a setting spray underneath your eyes after 40 is going to be essential for keeping the eye makeup in place. And not to move on too quickly, but this has got to be one of my favorite products of all time. It is literally our best-selling matte beige brow highlighter because it works. It's so versatile. It's matte, so therefore you can use it in so many other ways than you can a product like this that has shimmer in it. This I'm going to isolate for right here. Maybe if I wanted to, I could do it underneath my eyes, but I usually don't, because again, I'm trying to avoid the mess, and sometimes less is best to avoid the mess is what I always say, especially in the summertime. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to show you, I already have it on, and you move it right underneath that brow bone, just like that, and it gives you an instant eye lift. You can also move it down here in the corners like this to help brighten your entire eye area. You can also use it right here and to sharpen up that makeup. Like if you have any eyeshadow and it tends to kind of fall outside of your eyelid, it can kind of make the eyes like downturn. So if you have that issue, or if you use powder, whatever it is, you can literally draw a little line from here. Even if you want to sharpen your eyeliner look, You can draw a line up just like that and just pat it in, and literally it's going to give you a bonus little eye and facelift. It's really lovely. You can use it in so many different ways. Last but not least, I will mention that you can use it around your lips to keep your lipstick from bleeding, even if you wear lip liner. I wear lip liner too, but if it's a special occasion, or if, for instance, you have wrinkles around your mouth and that lip color just tends to bleed, and even lip liner doesn't do the trick, this, my friend, is tacky. It's matte. Once you put it around your lip, you will not be able to see it. It won't look like anything other than sharpening up that area, that line around wherever you use it. And then, like I said, it keeps the lip color in place. So extremely handy. I'll put a link to this below. Okay, last but not least, in the makeup arena, I cannot leave without mentioning the quintessential priming duo. Now, this, my friend, is the only makeup that I have on my face right now, besides my skincare products. This is an anti-aging tinted moisturizer with SPF, hyaluronic acid, and primer built into it. So it's basically a face primer, face moisturizer, like all in one. And if you're like me, you don't have time on your side a lot of the time. And so I'm gonna put a little bit on my hand right here so that you can see. Didn't want to do too much, but of course I did. So this is great though, because you're going to be able to see it really well, and I'm going to blend it in. It kind of has the consistency between a BB cream and a CC cream. That's kind of what I always say. And it feels really hydrating, really soft on the skin. And because you have that primer, which is imperative, you've got to wear primer after 40, you just have to, because it helps smooth out the texture of your skin. A lot of people think that primer is like, look at the difference. Look how beautiful the skin looks here versus here. Okay, so it will conceal lightly, it will hide imperfections, it will smooth out your skin. But as I was saying, a lot of people think that if they wear moisturizer, that will be enough, or that is similar to primer. In fact, primer has different ingredients. I was going to say additional, but it's really different ingredients. Some may be similar to moisturizer, yes, because they are hydrating, but the primer really does help smooth out the skin. So if you have uneven texture, if you have larger pores, if you have uneven skin tone, then you gotta wear the primer. In addition to that, wearing something with primer is going to help your other makeup stay on all day long. Now, the beauty of using something that's tinted like this is that you can literally wear it by itself. That's what I have on my face today. You can wear it by itself, or you can wear a full coverage foundation over it. So I love options, and honestly, it you know, whatever it sounds like, it might sound like a plug, but I never go one day without using this, and that's what it's all about today. So I have to mention the priming duo. And this shade, if you're interested, is in a medium. We offer it in fair. We offer, like, what are the colors? Fair, light, medium, medium deep currently, and you can custom order deep if need be. Okay, so moving on to products that are by my bedstand that I cannot live without. I use them every single night. The first is pretty obvious. You gotta always have chapstick. Actually, this goes way beyond my bed. This is my Pug Love chapstick. It's peppermint, seasonal, year round. We offer it in cherry and vanilla, but this is the thing. I have one of these by my bedstand. I have one in the console of my car. I have one in the drawer of my coffee table. I have one in my kitchen. I have one in my spa. I have them just sort of in my purse, because there is always a time when you need chapstick, and you just got to have one handy. So your favorite chapstick, you know, use it underneath your lip color. It's gonna, especially in the dry winter months, it's going to keep those lips from getting dry and cracked. But that's number one. But I have to say, because the winter months are particularly brutal on my lips, I always have Aquifer. And this is a little bonus hack. You know, I have been doing this for years. You can use a little bit of Aquifer over your lip color if you want. Not to just keep your lips from getting dry and cracked, whatever. You would have to use this underneath your lip color to prevent that. But if you use it over your lip color, it can actually serve as a little cheap lip plumper too. So here you heard it here first, or maybe you've heard it before, but I love that beauty hack. And you know, you can literally wear this or use this on dry patches, on your fingernails, wherever. I personally just love to use it on my lips all year round. So moving on to, and you can see how much I actually just opened. I ran out of this one. So this is a new tube, and that's why it looks all pretty and new. This one looks like usually what my tubes look like that I use all the time. About halfway through this, VANICREAM ointment. Now, there's been a lot of talk about VANICREAM moisturizer, but I was like, you know what? I've tried all the moisturizers. They all are pretty, you know, non-offensive. You know, lots of doctors and dermatologists recommend them, fine. But I need something to work a little harder for me in the occlusive arena because my skin is just so dry. And I'm even here in Austin, Texas, where honestly, it's very humid. So if that tells you anything about how dry my skin is, the VANICREAM ointment did not disappoint. Now, let me tell you all the ways that I use it and that you can use it as well. If you have, let's say you're using a retinol at night, you can layer with this. If you want to layer, you can use it underneath your retinol. If your retinol is a little bit too strong, or if you find that it's getting a little too dry or irritating, then you can sandwich it. You can use a thin layer of this, then your retinol, and then this over it. But I have to say that unless your skin is really, really irritated, I probably wouldn't do that because occlusives tend to prevent things from really penetrating the skin. So as I'm saying it out loud, I would personally recommend you just maybe taking a day off from using your retinol if that's the case, but layering with it or layering with some type of moisturizer when you're using actives can slow down that penetration process, the absorption rate, and that is why it tends to be less irritating. But on the flip side, you're probably not going to get as much benefit out of that product. But I always say that you can't benefit from something that you can't tolerate. So bear that in mind and use as needed to sandwich or layer with your actives if you have dry patches. Now, I was having dry, flaky skin on my nose. Even though I do all of the things to prevent it, obviously, being in the beauty industry for 25 years, I have a wide array of beauty products at my disposal. And I'm human just like everyone else. And so, you know, it doesn't prevent me from getting little dry, flaky patches. And this really, really did help over my retinol product. I would use this and I would wake up in the morning, my skin would feel really soft, it wasn't greasy, it didn't interfere with anything. So I thought, what are all the other ways we can use VANICREAM? I've been using it on my dry cuticles. I love to use cuticle oil, but sometimes if it's right before bedtime, I want something that I can massage into my nails. It's gonna absorb pretty quickly and not going to, you know, get oil all over my bed sheet or my pillowcase. So this I do love using on dry cuticles. Also, if you are traveling and let's say you forget your eye cream or your neck cream, this is great to use on your neck area. The neck, as we age and hormones fluctuate, just a little bonus tip, it tends to get sensitized. It can get a little red, irritated, blotchy. And so using something with a strong occlusive or layering with something like this can be helpful. Now, I have my other products. I have my whipped face butter that I use, I have my retinol, advanced retinol that I use. And so for this, I really would use it over those products if I needed to. I think it'd be a wonderful addition to your routine. And again, it's very, very affordable. So moving on to a different body part, and this is something I would never go without again. I can't believe that I went my adult life without using this. My heels used to be so rough, so cracked, so gnarly, is that a word that we still use? And they would literally scratch. If they brushed you at night, they would probably leave marks. So I'm just saying, they're bad. And, you know, I try to file them down, do all the things. And, you know, I guess I'm just too much of a country girl running around with, you know, bare feet or flip-flops. And, you know, again, I digress. So what I found to be so helpful, and you can see how much I use this too, is urea cream. And there's so many different brands. There's different percentages. The one that I started with is 20%. This is what it looks like. And I'm gonna take a little bit out just so you can see what it looks like here. And what body part haven't I used? Like, let's just put it here just so you can see. And the reason that I picked this urea cream for a couple of different reasons. You can see it will blend in really nice, but I do like to wear it and put socks over it to really seal in that moisture and sleep with it on. But the reason I tried this is because whenever you're trying something new for the first time, it's a good idea, you know, to go with a lesser percentage instead of just going straight to the higher one. So I chose urea cream at 20%, but I like this one because it has salicylic acid at 2%. And I thought that's really beneficial because that's an additional exfoliating agent that will help exfoliate that dead skin off my feet. And then I also loved it because one, the price point, it was a great price point, and it came with these little booties. I have videos on my TikTok feed of using it. If you want to see what it looks like, you can go check it out there. But I'm not an affiliate of any of these products. These are just products literally that I've used all year round, as I mentioned before. So this one here says urea, 20% cream, 2% salicylic acid for rough, dry, thick, cracked skin, nourishing hand and feet. This is what it looks like. It's lime green, and I do have a link to it underneath my blog post called Other Beauty Brands I'm Loving. So you can either go search for this on your own if you're interested, or you can go find my blog, do a little search for Other Beauty Brands I'm Loving, and the page will come up and the link will be in there. So it'll be a direct access to this product that I'm using. I also have a direct link for this particular sunscreen inside of my blog. I know I do, as well as some other products that I haven't even mentioned today. One is or a couple are for the nails, in fact. So definitely check that out if you have time. And thanks for hanging out with me today. Remember, the more you know, the more you glow. And ciao for now.